Hey there, I'm going to swear in this episode, so I'm just giving you fair warning. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. I help people to grow and supersize their businesses because that's what I've been doing with my businesses over the last lots of decades, and it's a thing I love to do. And lately I've been focusing on helping people go from the offline brick and mortar world to the online world, or just to add an online component to their business. And a few years back, I had a sudden cardiac arrest. I was literally working myself to death, and I dropped dead one day. And as I was laying in a coma in the hospital, my family was laying bets on what the first words out of my mouth were going to be when I woke up. Now, what I found fascinating about this was that my family was laying bets on what I was going to say, and that they knew what I was going to say more than I even knew at a conscious level what I was going to say. So of course, when I was woken up from the coma and the freezing, the first words out of my mouth were, "What the fuck?" Because I sat bolt upright and I had no idea where I was. I was, discombobulated, and I had, a lot of confusion because I had no idea what had happened to me or how long I'd been out, or why there were steady streams of people walking into my room and smiling and all happy and shaking my hand and hugging me and talking to me. And it was just a really weird situation, but it was because I had dropped dead and I was still there. So I guess it was kind of a big deal. And it got me to thinking as I went through, I got an Ironman, an ICD installed, and as I went through that recovery and cardiac rehab and things, I got to thinking about what my first words were and what I had said when I woke up in the hospital. And I realized, and I had studied Tony Robbins, for decades at this point, but I had forgotten all about his discussion about your primary question and why a question and the primary question. We all have a primary question that we're asking ourselves subconsciously all the time. And that's coloring all of our decisions and everything that we do and how we feel and how we experience different things. Well, my primary question was, what the fuck? Not a very empowering primary question, because it presupposes that there's always something wrong, right? And so everything I was looking at in my businesses and in my life was WTF. Well, I can't believe this. What is wrong with this? Because it's asking, what is wrong with this situation? Why is this situation so different than what I want it to be or what I expect it to be? That was my primary question. And so I started consciously discovering and deciding and knocking things down. What do I want my primary question to be? What's a more empowering question than WTF in terms of running my business and running my life? And I created, because I love creative things, I decided that my question, and I chose as my question, what am I creating now? So instead of being in a situation that was stressing me out and asking WTF, I switched that over to, well, what am I creating now? If I'm thinking and feeling about how frustrating this situation is, hey, so-and-so didn't show up for work today, or Tammy isn't working fast enough, or so-and-so's, on their cell phone in the break room instead of doing what they should be doing. WTF. Instead of asking WTF, I'd say, well, what am I creating now? Maybe I can go in and I can ask a better question and find out what's going on, and maybe I can help in some way. So it gave me a lot better answers than WTF. So my question for you today is, do you know your primary question? And if you don't, guess what? Just ask a couple people that are around you or that you work with or that are close to you or that are in your business, because I guarantee they know what your primary question is. Even if you don't know at a conscious level, they know. Now, did I know I was frustrated? Did I know I was stressed out? Did I know I was not thinking things were okay in my life? Yeah, I sure knew that, but I didn't feel like I knew what to do about them. And that's because I was asking the WTF question. I wasn't asking what I can do, what can I do about it? What am I creating? What else is possible? And so I started collecting and really paying attention to questions and how they can help us in our businesses, and not only in our businesses, but in our life. And I actually carry around a little notebook with me. And in the front of that notebook, the very front of that is great questions. Who wants me to share some of my great questions? If you'd like me to, comment in the comments below, questions or great questions, and I will share my list tomorrow of my go-to questions. Now, you already know my primary question now is, what am I creating now? So if you don't have, find out if you don't know what your primary question is, and ask yourself, is this primary question creating the results that I want? Am I getting the results in my business that I want? Am I getting the results in my life that I want? Because if you're doing and having your primary question something like mine, WTF, or something like that, you're probably not getting the results you want. I certainly was not getting the results I wanted in my business or in my life or in very many areas of my life back then. Now, by asking, what am I creating now? I am creating and getting all of the results that I want in my life. So, do you know your empowering question? Figure out what it is, or your primary question, figure out what it is, and ask yourself, is this working for me and getting me the results I want or not? And if not, tomorrow I'll give you some questions that are like, what am I creating now? What else is possible? How can I? Questions that actually set you toward running toward the results that you want and automatically on a subconscious level creating the results you want in your life versus having to consciously try to think of it and make things happen all the time. Because guess what? As much as we like to think we can control everything, we can only control ourselves. So that gives us a lot less control than we think we have or think we want. So one way that we can control things and really make an impact on our life is by controlling the questions that we ask. And the primary question is the very beginning of all that. So go out, make it a fantastic day. If you're brave, share your primary question below. Y'all know mine was WTF. So if you're brave enough, share your primary question. And then if you're even braver, share the question that if it's not empowering you and getting you the results you want, that you're going to flip it and switch it to. That's it. Have a fantastic day. I'll be with you tomorrow with another how the heck do I supersize my business tip, trick, or strategy. Bye. Jam Grandma out.